All right. Hey, everybody. This is Lua, also known as Professor Flowers. Welcome, welcome. I thought I would do a little bit of a hot take today. I normally don't do a hot take, as a lot of you know who watch my videos. I'll put a video out every couple months, and I am working on it the whole time. It takes me like 2 or 3 months a lot of times to make videos, and I have a lot of opinions, but I don't normally do hot takes. Sometimes things come up though, right? Sometimes things come up and you just gotta grab it where it is. And this is one of those days where something came up. Basically, there is a debate of if we should convert Nazis and right-wingers over to the left, or should we just not really worry about doing that? Or else the debate can be like, is that a bad thing to do? Now for me, I don't think it's bad if you want to try to help Nazis to stop being Nazis. I think the less Nazis there are, then it's a better thing. It's good. Not having Nazis is good. Okay? But there's more to it than that, you know? I think one of the things is that if someone used to be a Nazi and they're like, hey, I want to work with you. I think there's going to be a lot of people who are like, well, I feel pretty uncomfortable because you used to be a Nazi. And I think that's fair. You know? I think if someone used to be a Nazi and that comes along with being transphobic, and obviously that comes along with being racist, there's gonna be people who are like, hey, I'm black and I don't feel comfortable working with you. And that's fair. There are people who I've met who used to be on the alt-right, who seem really great and I would be happy to work with. There are also people who've been on the alt-right who have moved to the left and haven't really addressed some of the things that they've said, or if they have, they're like, hey, I said sorry about that. And it's like, if you can't really own that you've done these actions and that it still is hurtful to people, then it doesn't feel that sincere. On the one hand, I can understand, maybe there is something where you gave a sincere apology and people haven't seen it yet, and that might change their opinion or something. Or it's really hard to be on the internet and have people bring that up constantly when you're sincerely sorry. And at the same time, that's a mistake that you've made. And it's good to not let those mistakes define you. But if you're sincerely sorry that you've hurt people, then you would think that someone would be like, I apologize, I'm really sorry, but I get why you're still upset. I would think that someone who was really sincere would be like, I understand, as opposed to, well, I already said sorry, you know? And then there's people who will give sincere apologies, and there's gonna be people who are like, I still don't trust this person. And that makes a lot of sense. If someone doesn't trust you because of your past actions, that's a natural consequence of those actions. You know, it makes sense. And it's really disturbing to see people on the left be like, well, this is just a bunch of infighting. When it's like, well, I don't know, this person seems to really be supporting Nazis or right-wingers. So I'm going to pull up this tweet. So this is Vosh. So Vosh says, thank you for telling every young person pushed, groomed, or indoctrinated into a far-right ideology that they are permanently tainted and there's no point to them de-radicalizing and moving left because they'll never be accepted. And the tweet below it is saying, and you wonder why people don't trust white leftists. This person saying, everybody sucked when they were a younger teenager, forgive yourself. And this person's like, true, I was a Nazi, blah, blah, when I was a teenager, now I'm not. Again, it's not that it's not good that there are people who used to be Nazis and now they're not Nazis. You know, one of the issues here is that you'll have white leftists, very specifically white leftists, creating these spaces where they very much pride themselves in converting Nazis over. There's a couple problems with this. You know, not that it's bad to want to do that. Not that it's bad to want to convert Nazis over. The problem with focusing on that is that you're creating a space where people who were, very recently Nazis are going to be hanging out with black people or transphobic people or people who are like, I'm not a Nazi anymore, but I still think that maybe racism isn't as big of a deal, or that trans women aren't women, or, there's all these issues where it's I'm glad that you're not a Nazi. You're not a Nazi, sure, but we have some other issues going on here too. And a lot of people don't want to be around that. A lot of people are like, I'm trying to organize an actual movement here, and it's going to be very hard to do that. We're bringing in the most, we're focusing I don't even want to say we as in me, but people who have a lot of power are focusing their energy on trying to convert the least helpful people, where when they finally do get over here, a lot of them still have a lot of stuff to deal with. And again, it's not that it's bad. It's good that there are people who are getting de-radicalized from Nazism. But if you want to have a legitimate leftist movement, it's not going to happen from getting a few people to stop being Nazis. You know, I don't know why you think that. It's not going to happen. I've seen breadtubers be better at engaging with incels than the Black community. And it's really frustrating too how a lot of these people talk about the Black community, because a lot of people in the Black community are the ones leading these leftist movements in the US. Like, you have all the Black Lives Matter movement that came out of that. And then you have a lot of leftist ideology coming with that. And that is something that's led by Black people. You have a lot of Black people organizing. So you have like these Black people like living out the ideology, this like leftist ideology that people talk about. And then you have like white leftists online. And again, it's not bad to be like a white leftist online, but there's a disconnect from like actual practice and ideology. And so you have this issue where a lot of white leftists can engage with incels more than they can with actual Black leftists who are organizing in real life. And that's an issue. It's not an issue. Again, it's not an issue if you want to help incels not be incels. That's fine. That's doing good work. But if you're a leftist and you can't connect with the Black communities who are organizing, you've got an issue. And then not only to not be able to engage with these people who are, I think, very integral and important to the leftist movement, people are putting their energy into converting incels or converting alt-righters. And if you want to have a legitimate movement, you're not going to do it from just getting a few other people. So to me, again, this comes down to where are we investing our energy? We're investing our energy into converting a few people, and it feels good. You get to pat yourself on the back and be like, I helped de-radicalize someone, and that was my project over there. And it makes you feel good. And it's good for that person too. You know, it's not nothing. It's important. These people's lives are important. But I think a lot of people want to see a real viable movement. A real one. And it's not going to happen if we're putting most of our energy into converting right-wingers and incels and neo-Nazis. You know, the thing about leftism, the thing about socialism and communism and anarchism, the thing about all these ideologies is you would think that these ideologies are of the people. And they are, actually. There's going to be tens of millions of people who are going to be facing eviction. Those people may not be a leftist, they may not be an anarchist or a communist, but you have tens of millions of people who are going to be facing evictions. People are going to be leftist. We have the platform to reach these people. We have the platform to have white leftists and Black leftists be working together. We have the ability to reach these people facing evictions, to reach all the people who are facing unemployment, who don't have enough money. We are the populist movement, and yet we're not reaching these people, and that's where so much of the frustration comes. And at the same time, you have these people who say that they're leftist, say that they care about these things. They have a platform of hundreds of thousands of people, some are in the millions. And they're really focused on how they were able to get some neo-Nazis to convert over. And it's just frustrating to watch. Again, it's not bad if you want to convert neo-Nazis over to leftism. But if you want to see a viable revolution and you have this platform, it'd be really great if, you know, there was some contribution to making these ideas viable, to making a serious revolution and organizing. At the end of the day, part of me, in some ways, isn't too mad, because I understand that when you're organizing, you have to do that stuff in person. You have to be a part of your community. Being a part of your community and going to places where other people are going through the same class struggles, that's really important. going to people who have the same class struggles, going to places in your community, going to other communities and teaming up, having intersectionality. Organizing in person is really important to make bonds, to make friendships, to have some teeth in the game. I don't know if I said that right. Skin. It's really important to organize in person, and YouTube has its limits, but still, I think there's a way that YouTube could be used, and people with larger platforms could use YouTube in a way that I think could be very, very helpful. And it's frustrating to see the focus be on converting right-wingers. If you don't want to use your platform, you don't have to use it to organize either. I don't necessarily want to be on YouTube always talking about racism. I want to talk about Princess Kaguya. I want to make a video on why Attack on Titan is still garbage. There are other things that I want to talk about that aren't always really political. But if you are a leftist and you care about these things, you care about ending racism, you care about creating a more equitable society, you care about these issues, then it does seem like there is some sort of obligation to use your platform in a way that would be really helpful and beneficial to a serious and real leftist movement. So in some sense, there's a way where YouTube is very limited. And on the other hand, if you're leftist, if you actually claim to care about these things, then there is some sense of obligation to use your channel to try to collaborate with others and steer the leftist movement into a viable, reasonable solution for everyone. And it's very frustrating to see people who have massive platforms, hundreds of thousands of people, millions of views, and really just focus on the fact that they've converted neo-Nazis over. It just seems like it's not the best use of energy given what we could be working on. And it also invites in a lot of people that a lot of people don't feel comfortable working with. And if you want to be serious about making an actual viable movement, then we need to actually reach the masses. We need to be collaborating with the people who want to collaborate. White leftists need to get over whatever the heck is stopping them from just reaching out to the Black leftists who are doing a lot of work and work together. So anyways, that's my hot take. I don't do them too much. I feel really awkward because normally I write a script and I have a very ending, normally I have a script where I write an ending and then I say it thanks everyone and I'll see you next time, and then I see you next time. But this time I don't know how to wrap it up because I don't do hot takes that much. But anyways, I'll see you in the next video. I'll be dropping an interview that I did very soon, and then I am still working on my whiteness video. Sorry, I broke my laptop, so yeah, I'm behind and I just excuses. I have a lot of excuses. But I'll see you in the next video, and keep an eye out for my whiteness video. Thanks everyone.